Section 1, me and God. That's quite an interesting and challenging question, particularly if you're coming to this and you've just signed into our website and think, oh, wonder what this is all about. I don't know what that means, me and God. I don't have a relationship with God. God's just there in the church. So maybe you don't understand what I'm going to say next, what I'm going to draw people's thoughts to. And if that's you, feel free to ask some questions. We have a section below where you can send questions to us. But for those of us who's come to this prayer Zoom and we want to think about where we are as a church, we're going to first look at how has the last 12 months impacted me, affected me, just as a person? How has the last 12 months or so affected me as a Christian? How has it affected me as a person within the church fellowship here, or community, or the group of people who meet in Walton, however you like to think of it? What are my hopes and my dreams? What are my ambitions for this church? What are God's ambitions for this church? It may be a better way of phrasing that. What are your joys? And maybe what are the hurts and frustrations and difficulties you've faced as we've come together as two churches? So what I want you to do, I want you to close your eyes and take yourself to a place that's peaceful for you. It might be on a lake, sitting on a fishing platform, nobody there, peace, just sitting out looking over the water. It might be at a small river where there's a waterfall and you're just watching it come down in power and then distilled into the water, and it's peaceful. It might be in a large garden where there's beautiful flowers and trees and everything around you, and you can hear the bird song. Wherever it is, try and take yourself there now. And when you've done that, you notice next to you is a small bag. And in that bag that you open are a number of items, stones maybe. And each of those could represent some of the hurts or frustrations you've felt, confusion as we've come together as a church. Some of the questions you've got, some of the ways you've felt. Some of them could represent good times. But what I'd ask you to do is drop those stones under the bush, into the river, or somewhere away from you, the ones that represent hurts, and just lay them before God. And then for the next few minutes or so, just ask God to speak to you. Talk to him about what it is that's confused you or worried you. Fitting into a church somewhere different. Having new people coming in and maybe doing things in a different way. You may have found it difficult to get to know people, or feel that you're now in a big thing that before it was very small. Or you might be missing the friends that you had in your other church. Lots and lots of things we can bring before the Lord. And so what I'd ask you to do now is pause the video and then just come back to it when you're ready. So having spent some time with God, I hope that's been a time of blessing for you. But what I'd like to finish this section with is a song by Tim Hughes, Everything. And it just reminds us that God should be in everything. And I think if we do that, it will help us to move forward from whatever it is that might have been difficult in whatever circumstance you found yourself. God in my living, God in my thinking, God in my doing, my walking, everything. And so I just ask you to finish this video with listening, go onto the link and it'll take you directly to that song.